Hello guys, welcome back to another Boom Beach video. I'm back on my free-to-play series, and today we're not actually going to be on this account for the full amount of time. I just decided to start it on here. Today we are going to be talking about how to make a successful base design. There's so much that goes into it, and it's just more of a personalized, because the problem with base designs, guys, is people tend to copy the top players, and then people attack the same bases over and over and over again, so it gets pretty boring after a while on the offensive side. But on the defensive side, everyone knows how to attack your base, so making a unique base design is definitely very, very good. And if you guys can master this one skill, you guys will be sitting pretty well, whatever. I got my great wall of blankets. It's like, I'm too lazy to make my bed. Pretty much all it is. Okay, we're gonna upgrade something, and then we are gonna be jumping onto my main account. So let's get, we can't upgrade anything in there. Let's get that, and let's just, I have no loot, so we'll just start a sniper tower. Okay guys, so we switched devices, and now we are going to be on this account, my main account. So you guys can see right now that my base is just got wrecked, and let's talk a little bit about that first. So you're never gonna win every single defense. It's just not gonna happen unless you have unless you're super low in victory points, and then you'll barely lose, or people will not attack you as much. So like if I was at like 400 victory points, I would get attacked a lot less than at 650. So if you guys don't know, it's like, is it over 600 or over 500 or over 4? It's like 400 or 600, I think. But the matchmaking system changes. I think it's 400, and you start getting attacked a lot more. So you will notice a difference going above that 400 mark. And then it just gradually increases until you're up at the top, where you get attacked super often. So you're never gonna win every single defense. The reason because of this is the game would be broken if defense beats offense. Offense always needs to beat defense some way. Now, as a defensive player, I'm not a defensive player, but a defensive player, when I say defensive player, I mean players that upgrade defenses. So that's not quite what I mean. So as a player that wants to defend his base, you can make it extremely hard to get defeated, but there's always a way to defeat a base, in my opinion, guys. So if you want the ultimate base design, it ultimately doesn't come down to the base layout. Yes, the base layout does play a role in winning defenses, but for the most part, it's just about prototypes, having 2 prototypes down at all times, and having a bunch of ice statues. And mostly it's just ice statues, because you know, ice statues make the base infinitely harder. So we're going to be talking about low level making bases, and then we're going to be talking about mid level and higher level. So we're just going to get into some base building basics. So if you guys, I'm just taking 4 defenses here. Most of you guys know this. You could target multiple defenses at once by placing an artillery on all 4 of these. So you could just tap the middle there, and then you could target these 3. And if I put this in, you could target 4. So that's normally something you do not want to do. That's like a big mistake for players, just doing that. Now, I'll talk about that later. My brain's going a million different ways. So you don't want to do that. So just space it out by 1. Normally, it's okay to have 2 support buildings or offensive buildings next to each other, because for the most part, players aren't going to be taking down 2 buildings. So if you have 4 like this, players will this is what I would do, and I know other players do this also. They'll spend a few gumbo energy and take down all 4 of these to get 12 gumbo energy. So normally, for the most part, you do not want to have that. The max you should have is 2. Like, I've seen players attack even 3. So like for a 3, it could be like this. You can't move that like this. Any possible combination that they all connect at one point. So if you look at my base, guys, I don't have that. You notice there are a few places where my sniper towers do connect to other buildings, and yes, that is fine. It's okay to do that. Some players won't have that at all, and the bases are so stretched apart. The way you want to think about it is take the best defensive buildings. So that would be the shock launchers, boom cannons, and rocket launchers. And then, like, everyone will disagree with that, but like those are the main like enemies against troop combinations. So you take those, and you normally don't want to connect them to other defenses or anything else. Now, connecting them to the HQ is fine because the HQ has so much HP. And you see here that I have my boom cannon connected to this residence, which is not a good idea because people do take down boom cannons. So I'm just going to move that over once. And then now you realize that I have a triple connection here. So we're going to move the sniper tower back one. And now we got two doubles, which is fine. They're pretty useless buildings. Not many people will take down a cannon or a sniper tower with artillery unless they have a lot of it. So that's just kind of like at the end of building your base, just go through it and make sure that your rocket launchers, your boom cannons, and your shock launchers are not touching anything. Now I do have a rocket launcher here that's touching the mortar and stuff. So we're just gonna move that like that. And then we get a pretty good base design. Okay guys, so now we're going to be talking about shock placement, because if you have all of your rocket launchers like this, even though they're not touching like this, so you can't take them down off artillery, you could still shock them all at once, which is not good. So I could drop a shock in the middle and shock all three of them at once. So this is the range of the shock. So we'll just take this vault here, and we'll put a defense on this side, and we need two tiles in between, just like this. So we'll just move some of those defenses out of the way. So you cannot shock both of those at the same time. You cannot shock the flame and the mortar at the exact same time with one shock. So just to show you guys, so I'm gonna try to shock both of those cannons at the exact same time. So all three of those cannons actually. So we're just gonna try a bunch of different placements. So we're gonna try placing it in the middle. Can't shock them. Do you see how it was right outside? So we'll look at these flamethrowers next. I could drop a shock in the middle. It shocks all of them. This is a good idea of a clump. That's a bad clump. You do not want to clump up your defenses. And you could even shock so much more. Like, watch, I should be able to get all of those defenses. Yeah, I was able to get all of those defenses. 6 defenses with one shock. So that's an idea of a bad placement. You don't want to take your best defenses and put them close to each other. Now, some base designs will do that, just like to make an anti-tank base design, for example, or something, but you don't want to do that. It's just a bad practice. So just make sure they're spaced out by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 tiles in between your biggest defenses. So for example, I had a rocket launcher here. Now I am aware that you could shock all 3 of these at once, but this is an anti-Ruka base design. So what happens is people that are attacking this with Ruka aren't gonna worry about the boom cannons. So they're not gonna worry too much about shocking or taking down the boom cannons. It might be a bad idea to have my shock launcher and rocket launcher next to each other, but that's just the base design that I came up with, guys. I really didn't put too much thought into it. And you can see here that we have 1, 4, so we have 5 places in between our shock launchers. That is bad. I don't know why I did that in the past. Wait, did I have it like this? I can't remember if I had it like that. We're gonna have it like that from now on, because that's bad. 2 shock launchers is the worst thing you can do. If you have 2 shock launchers and 1 shock, someone attacking this with warriors, well, I guess if someone was attacking this with warriors, they wouldn't want to shock their warriors. But just try to avoid that as much as possible. So I hope I made that point pretty clear. Let's talk about mines next. I'm just talking about a bunch of low components, and then we're gonna try to put it together, and I'll show you a good base design. So for mine placement, it can get complicated, okay? But it's also super, super easy. So what I like to do is I notice a lot of people attacking bases, or my base, with tanks or hookah, and they try to go to one side or the other side. They don't just power through the base, because that's just a bad strategy. So they'll take down either my left side or my right side. So what I decided to do was I placed boom mines here. So yes, they're not going to kill tanks, they're not going to kill heavies at this level, but they will wound them, and it doesn't do much. Honestly, it doesn't do much. So that's just a little something I adapted. Like, I'm not going to place all of my mines on one side. That's just a bad idea. So for other mines though, so that's why I have those 6 mines on the right, 3 on the right, 3 on the left. So for your other mines like shock mines, just try to position them throughout your base. Now, you never want mines behind your HQ. So you could see here that behind my HQ, I don't have mines, excluding those. Like, you can have them touching, or you can have them like this, because people attacking this base of warriors are gonna flare to the HQ. So you want maybe 5 to 10 mines around your HQ, and what that's gonna do is it's just gonna provide a little anti-warrior buffer. Now, it also is a good idea to space these mines out, like opposite sides. So if someone drops a barrage, it's not gonna take all of the mines down, or critters, it's not going to take all of the mines down. And then you want a path up to the HQ with mines. Now, it is also a very good idea to try to hide some mines. So you can see here that I have a couple mines, or just one, behind my boom cannon. I have a mine there, and then statues. Use statues to your advantage. That mine is supposed to be there. And yeah, just placing mines behind your statues, so someone that's attacking this of warriors is just going to just die. Like, mines only do something against warriors and Ruka. So just make sure that your mine placement is good. I've always said defending is a psychological battle more than a physical battle, because when you first attack a base, if you have all of your mines hidden, the person attacking, for the most part, won't see a threat. But if you have a lot of mines out, then they're gonna get like, okay, get a little more focused. So if we zoom out here, I don't have too many mines showing, but I should conceal some more mines. That's actually something I need to work on also. So you're always improving your base design. Another good way of improving your base design, guys, is watching defenses, watching what these players do. And you don't need to watch all of these unique combinations like grenadiers, because you don't have a lot of people attacking your base with grenadiers. So focus on ones that are like tanks, Ruka, and warriors, and try to make an anti, or just, I guess it's called a hybrid base now. So in conclusion, guys, there's never going to be one base that wins all. It's always going to be either an anti-tank base, an anti-Ruka base, or an anti-warrior base. There's never going to be one that is an anti-all base. Wait a minute. These can shock. I definitely had those spaced out a little more. Usually players won't try to waste a shock trying to shock all of them. So I think that, yeah, you could shock both of these rocket launchers at once, but it's a waste of a shock if you miss. And you have to be really exact for one tile off. So I hope you guys did learn something. This is my anti-Ruka base, guys. I'll try to remember to put a card on the screen now to show you how I made this and what went on behind it. And it works very good against Ruka. Honestly, it works so good. I've defended so many Ruka attacks, and yeah, just use, actually no, this is my front loaded base. This, we gotta save. Yeah, okay, forget what I said. This is my front loaded base. This is my Ruka base design. And I'll show you this quick, and then I'm going to end the video, because Ruka is becoming a more used strategy. It's becoming more popular. So knowing how to defend it is definitely a good idea. So you can see here, my other base is more of a hybrid base, but this base is a Ruka base, anti-Ruka. My rocket launchers are just placed extremely far apart. My shock launchers are placed far apart. Yeah, it's just a good base. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I hope you did learn something. If you did, be sure to drop a like. As always, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.